What's up, fuckers, and welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K22 Next Gen. And this one is going to hurt. Today, the Boston Celtics, the second to last team that is not in the draft lottery, that we are going to be doing a rebuild with. They just lost the NBA Finals in 6 games to the Golden State Warriors, and it's time to hopefully get them another championship. So the diehard Celtics fan in me wants to keep this entire core, not really trade anybody, run it back and see if the result goes a little bit differently. Unfortunately, I just know that's not going to work, so I'm going to put my bias aside for the Celtics. We are going to be trading some of these core players today with the goal of acquiring Banner 18 for this franchise. And a couple final things before we do get into this video. One, this is my first video in a long time. I want to apologize. The reason for that is I'm sick. I don't know if I look sick or not, or sound sick, but I've had a really bad sore throat. I've had a headache. I've had all sorts of bad things going on. So that's number one. I'm not even feeling 100%. I just wanted to get a video out. So hopefully it's not too bad. Number two on the list, we are going to probably do this, the Warriors, and maybe a fantasy draft or something before the regular NBA draft happens. So if you guys have any other video ideas on that, let me know down below in the comment section. Of course, if you guys are new around here, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you. And if you guys have any other video ideas, whether they be after the draft, once I get into some of the post-draft prospect rebuilds, whatever they may be, I do want to hear from you guys. Let me know down below in the comment section. And that is about it. I'm going to try to put aside my feelings for this video, for my love of the Celtics. It is time to get Banner 18. Let's get into it. We're now here with this Celtics team. We are approaching our first offseason. It's obviously going to be the same way all of the rest of these have been. It's going to be offseason, season, offseason, season, offseason, season, with the goal of winning at least one championship. So I almost want to set the bar a little higher just because this team was just in the finals and was, I guess technically it feels weird to say, 2 wins away from a championship. Ime Udoka is not going anywhere. Had a very impressive rookie head coaching first season there in Boston. Didn't get off to the best start, I think we all know that, but a very good rookie season for him here in Boston as well. So, again, my brain knows what to do. My heart doesn't want to do it. It sucks, but there are some moves that do need to be made with this team, whether it's just restrictive on the capabilities of this team, whether it's age-wise, stuff like that. This team does need some help. I think it needs a lot of bench help. Starting-wise, it's not crazy, but again, we're going to make a couple moves with the starting lineup. You all probably know what the roster looks like. We can kind of go through it if you really want to, but I'm assuming a lot of you guys probably know what's wrong with this team. I'm sure you probably could figure it out just by watching that finals, and it's not just Jayson Tatum. I know. Kind of sold the bag in the finals. Let's see you guys with the trade. We're going to be trading our second round pick. I don't really have any value here with the 22nd overall pick in round number 2. We do not have a first round pick. That actually stems all the way back to last year in the Al Horford Kemba Walker trade, I believe, if my math is correct. So we're not going to be getting a prospect or a draft pick this year. I don't really think we need one. I mean, again, maybe could be useful off the bench, but I think, and honestly, in my opinion anyways, a veteran is needed off this bench. I think that definitely showed in the NBA Finals. Al Horford's going to be coming back. He's probably going to be getting traded. I'm not going to lie. I believe he's actually only guaranteed around $19 million in real life. Pritchard's coming back. Grant was coming back, and then Aaron Nesmith is going to be coming back. He could potentially be a guy that I do trade, but I'm sure a lot of you could figure out Al Horford is going to be traded. Sam Hauser, no thank you. Matt Ryan, the GOAT, Broderick Thomas, no thank you. These guys were cool to have on the bench. It was cool to see them celebrate and jump up and down when something cool happened, but other than that, I don't really have much of a need for them. We really don't have any free agents. I guess that's maybe one of the good things the Celtics have going for them next year is they really don't have any free agents. Now it is time to make some trades. Now, I want to remind you guys before we get into some of these trades that these are not what I actually think these teams should do in the real life offseason. Along with that, this is not a realistic rebuild. Those are the two main things that people still somehow do not understand sometimes when I do these videos. People will be like, why on earth would this team do this? And I'm like, it's a fantasy rebuild. Like, it's not a realistic thing. But that being said, Marcus Smart is probably not going to be here very long. I think if we can trade him, get somebody like Lonzo Ball, who does progress very, very well in this game, I think it would be a pretty big deal for us. So I'd be willing to throw in Nesmith. He really probably won't be playing behind Tatum. Let's see if we can get Lonzo to go through. I'd probably be willing to give up 2 first-round picks. Anything more than that's probably really not worth it for me. Of course, I will probably include a couple second-round picks. I'd rather not give up 3 first-round picks for Lonzo. I'd rather not, but will I? Probably. They agree to that. That might have been a little much, but Lonzo Ball is going to come in here, really be a good playmaker for this team that I really think this team honestly was not lacking. Marcus Smart is obviously not a pure point guard. He's not an old school, old-fashioned point guard. There's really not a lot of those left in today's league. But I think Lonzo's going to come in and do a couple things maybe a little bit better on the offensive side of the ball. Might definitely lack a little bit of defense. Not that Lonzo's a bad defender, but he is replacing a defensive player of the year. Lonzo's here as our new point guard. We probably have one more trade in the starting lineup. And here's what that trade is going to be. Al Horford and Daniel Tice going to Orlando. I honestly feel so bad for Al Horford. I don't think the Celtics are going to move on from him unless Bradley Beal walks into their lap somehow this offseason, which is just not going to happen. But Jonathan Isaac's going to be my guy here. I know he's obviously super injury prone in real life, and it does happen quite a bit. But we don't play with injuries on. He's also, 12 years younger, making a little bit less money. He's locked up long term, and he's a really, really good defensive player. We also acquire a first-round pick. So Al Horford, I love the guy. I'm really happy he ended up coming back, and even if he never gets a ring, I was really happy to see him actually go to the finals. But that is probably the final move we make in the starting lineup for now. The starting five is Lonzo Brown, Tatum, Isaac, and Rob Williams. We now need to get a backup center. We need to go ahead and get a backup. Oh, wait, that's it. Yeah, we need a backup center, and then that's it because Tatum won't have a backup. So, yeah, KPJ is here. Unfortunately, we really don't need him today. The center spot's always something that's tough because a lot of these guys are just so old and just regress so hard. Rob Williams, I wouldn't maybe mind like a Muscala who could maybe stretch the floor a little bit. 31 years old. Could re-sign Mo Wagner, Celtics legend. Kleba's here. Nick Richards, Cauley Stein, Jahlil Okafor, Aaron Baines, Celtics legend. I miss Aaron Baines in Boston. He was different in Boston than he was in many other places. I'll sign Muscala. We'll do a 2-year, $3 million deal, or $3 million per year. Welcome to the team. Everybody else is free to go, and I will now see you guys at the start of year number 1 here in Boston. We are now here at the start of year number 1 in Boston. We have made 2 changes to the starting 5, that being Lonzo Ball and Jonathan Isaac, instead of Marcus Smart and Al Horford. It sucks. Those are 2 of my favorite players. I'm kind of going on in ways to win a championship. I'm not really trying to be loyal right now, but I'm excited for this team. Lonzo Ball, Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, Jonathan Isaac, and Rob Williams are going to be the starting 5 here. For the first year, the bench unit's pretty decent. Derek White will remain the 6th man, followed by Peyton Pritchard, Grant Williams, and Mike Muscala. In real life, I'm hoping this is not even anything remotely close to what the Celtics bench is looking like. They need a wing player that can play defense and shoot the 3 ball, because that is not something they really had in the offseason, and it really started to show, especially in the finals. But we're not talking about real life right now. I think this team is hopefully good enough to be back in the finals, and I will see you guys at the end of year number 1. The first regular season in Boston was a successful one. Jayson Tatum won the MVP award, something that I need him to do within the next 2 to 3 years, or at least just play at that sort of level. I really, really do. I'm not even kidding. We're the 1 seed here in the Eastern Conference, so we'll be playing a play-in team. Tatum, really good year. Jabari Smith Jr., your Rookie of the Year. Looks like he fell all the way to number 4, most likely going to be the number 1 overall pick, and he fell all the way to 4 here. Prayers to my man. Nothing's wrong with him. He just has to play basketball in Sacramento. Brickleberry Simmons, 6th man of the year. Oh, my God. What in the world is going on with Kyrie Irving right now? Oh, dude. I love just the amount of trade rumors that end up coming out throughout, pretty much every NBA offseason, especially in a free agency class that's not exactly hugely loaded. I hope we have a lot of trades this offseason. Isaac wins Defensive Player of the Year for us. That's cool to see. Isaiah Stewart, Most Improved. Ime Udoka, Coach of the Year. We finished with a record of 62-20. Oh, boy. It looks like the Pelicans are running the West. Nets are behind us just at 60-22. I feel for Nets fans, man. I feel your pain if Kyrie ends up leaving. Tatum led us in scoring, followed by Brown. Then it was Lonzo Ball, Rob Williams, Derek White. So we had 5 guys that are over double digits in the scoring department. Isaac, Pritchard, Muscala, Grant Williams off the bench. Is that Keelan Martin? It is Keelan Martin. Rebounds went to Rob Williams, no surprise, and assists was Lonzo Ball, no surprise. All right, let's sim the first round. We got the Toronto Raptors. Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam. They got Precious coming off the bench. Otto Porter, Svi Mikhailiuk, whatever. Otto Porter's a great target for my Celtics in real life. We go game by game with them right now. They actually won game 1. We go on to win 2 straight. Then we drop game 4. We are up 3-2. We're going to a game 7 in round number 1. And we lose. And we lose. That is just, we lost by a point. We lost by a singular point. That's just not, wow. Okay, well, I'd like to look at, I'd like to go ahead and look at some player stats for the playoffs. These 2 are obviously doing their thing. Lonzo was good. Rob Williams was good. Muscala, Derek White. Isaac doesn't really score a lot. That's not really his job. I don't really know what's wrong with this team. I really don't. And the Grizzlies go on to win the finals. Ja Morant averages almost a triple-double and win finals MVP. Well, from 1 seed to eliminated in the first round. That is just a straight-up punch right in the fucking dick. That's not what I was looking for in the slightest. We reject all those. As always, we will now hit the draft lottery where we're not going to have any picks. The Knicks. Wow. Projected 4 and 5. Call of Duty updated. I don't even know why that game's still installing things. Rockets, Knicks, Pelicans, Spurs, Rockets. So the Rockets have 2 top 5 picks. Number 1 via Milwaukee. Did the Bucks not make the playoffs? I don't know how the Bucks were bad. That makes no sense. Udoka's not going anywhere. He's still a very good head coach, at least in my opinion. You might not agree with that, but I think he definitely is a good head coach. We hit the draft now. Oh my God, I thought that was somehow the second overall pick, and I just missed it. But yeah, no. We will not be using a pick in this rebuild, most likely. Team player options, Pritchard is going to come back. Qualifying, Grant Williams can get it. I'll give it to him. I would maybe potentially like an upgrade, but just because, again, he's not really playing very well. I think in real life he plays a lot better than he does in this game. But other than that, maybe an upgrade at backup center, and then we honestly might just run it back, because other than that, I really can't really think. I can't really think of a better option on really what to do. I don't think Isaac was the problem. He just won Defensive Player of the Year. Derek White has another year after this. Pritchard is expiring, I believe, after this year. He'll be entering the final year of his deal anyways, and I'll just give him the qualifying because he's more than a serviceable backup point guard. Okay, yeah, we're going to probably trade Mike Muscala. I'd like to get a first-round pick potentially, and then maybe go ahead and sign a new backup center, maybe somebody just a little bit younger, if that's even a possibility remotely. Thank you, Chicago. It's actually a Portland Trailblazers first-round pick. The center options for me are not great. I'll bring Kelly Olynyk back. Can stretch the floor as well, and we got the first-round pick, so honestly, I'm fine with that. Kelly Olynyk, welcome, I guess, back to Boston. I am going to go ahead and pay Grant Williams. How much money does he want right now? He wants roughly $9.5 million a year. That's fine for now. We might again trade him next year, but that's fine for now. I'll see you guys at the start of year number 2. A very good regular season in year number 1 was capped off by a very, very ugly postseason as we lose as a 1 seed in the first round of the 2022-2023 NBA playoffs. We've decided to basically run it back with this core. We have one change, that being our new backup center, that being Kelly Olynyk. So not much has changed with this team. I'm hoping again for a top 3 seed here in the Eastern Conference, obviously with a little bit of a different result in the playoffs. Lonzo, Brown, Tatum, Isaac, Rob Williams, bench unit, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Grant Williams, and Kelly Olynyk. Let's hopefully this team can do the same thing they did last regular season with a little bit of a different result in the playoffs. See you guys at the end of year number 2. And for this second straight season, Jayson Tatum wins an MVP award. I don't think he'll really care about that if we lose round 1 again. We are a 1 seed again here in the Eastern Conference. Again, hoping for a lot better of a playoff run than last year. Tatum doing his thing, 2-time MVP. Scoot Henderson, your Rookie of the Year in Houston, Brickleberry. Jonathan Isaac wins his second straight Defensive Player of the Year. Keon Johnson, Most Improved. Ime Udoka, we go 65-17 this year. We do not need to be a regular season team. That is not what I'm hoping for. 6 games up in the Cavs for the 1 seed here in the Eastern Conference. Oklahoma City taking the number 1 seed over there in the West. Tatum, Brown, Lonzo Ball, Rob Williams, Derek White, Pritchard, Isaac. As you can see, a lot of the scoring is basically on these two, with a little bit being, facilitated to Lonzo Ball. I guess that's kind of how I built the team. There's not a ton of scorers on this team, but honestly, if we can win games, that's not really what I care about. We avoid the Raptors in round 1 this year. We now have the Orlando Magic. Cole Anthony, Jaden Ivey, Franz Wagner. Where did Jaden Ivey fall to? Oh, they took him I'm so dumb. I'm like, where the hell did the Magic pick? The Magic took him number 1 overall. If he ends up going to Sacramento, I'm going to feel so bad for the dude. Okay, I don't know why I'm shitting on Sacramento today. I'm sorry if I have any Kings fan in the comments section. We're up 3-2 right now, and we win in the first round in 6 games. Moving on to Indiana. Halliburton, Sexton, Warren, Banchero, Jalen Smith. What pick did I'm all over the place. They have the 6th overall pick, so Paolo fell quite a bit. I saw his draft odds are actually moving up to be the number 1 overall pick. I don't think Orlando is going to take him. I think he's more likely to fall to 2 or 3, probably 3. I think Holmgren will probably go 2. Nonetheless, we are here in the Eastern Conference Finals, and we got the Brooklyn Nets. I guess Kyrie stayed in this universe. Cam Thomas, THT, Kevin Durant, they had Clint Capella, they still have Simmons, Tyus Jones, Nick Claxton, Day'Ron Sharp. Actually, a pretty good bench there in Brooklyn. Let's see if we can get by them like we did in real life this year. And same result as real life. We sweep them. The Oklahoma City, so we got a battle of the 1 seed. Shea, Giddey, Lou Dort, Chet Holmgren, Andre Drummond. That's just a disgusting center to have on a team like this that's just so young and has so much potential. All right, let's go game by game with them. We are up 2-1. Obviously, I would like to get a little bit of gameplay potentially. We're on our home floor in the TD Garden. Can we close it out in game 5? Let's not wait around and make mistakes. That's kind of what killed the Celtics in real life this year when they it was all about game 4, basically. But, yeah, we're going to be winning this one. Let's get a little bit of gameplay. Here in the TD Garden, we are going to be winning a championship. So I guess a little bit of the pressure is off right now. That obviously does make me feel pretty good. I still would like to potentially win 1 or 2. I still think we probably should have been a lot closer to the finals than we were last year when we lost in the first round to the Toronto Raptors, which is never a good feeling. But it does kind of suck. I would have loved to get Marcus and Al a ring, but it's just really not the way it worked out. I think Lonzo especially was just a really big contributor. And obviously we have a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year as our starting power forward. So I'm not mad about the moves I made. I just honestly kind of feel bad with the way it kind of worked out. Good defense there from Lonzo Ball as well. Let's push it up a little bit. Push it over to... Oh, my bad. That's a horrible pass. Is that Bruce Brown? Oh, yeah, horrible pass. I'll play a little on-ball D with Lonzo here. Try to stope. That's my controller vibrating into next week. Who do you think you are, Bruce Brown? That's not happening. Lonzo gets his 9th board on the night right now. Push it over to Derek White a little bit. Derek White, you want to do something? You were like... It's honestly kind of baffling. He's like a really slow dribbler. Rob Williams down low. Good cut. Gets it to go. He's got 12 on the night now. We'll probably do a couple more possessions just because, again, I'm pretty bad at this game, if we're being honest. Tatum's not even in. I'd like to see his stat line on the night. Let's try to close up Trey Mann here and hopefully be on our way to getting banner 18 officially, which feels really good to say. Hopefully it's something I can say next year, but again, I'm not banking on it, but it would be nice. Good board right there. That was an absolute brick. Lonzo Ball. Let's just go one more pick and roll, please. Rob Williams. Right down to the rack. Rob Williams slams it home. I'll see you guys with the finals MVP. So I apologize. This is actually going to turn into a really short rebuild. This is now the second time I've been having this issue, and I think I now know what it is. But yeah, this is the loading screen that I get stuck in, and then eventually the game will just crash. I don't know why this happens. It's probably because it has something to do with autosave not being on. This is one giant file that I use. We got a championship for the Celtics, so I guess we did technically succeed, but as it comes to these big file, or this one file that I'm using in these kind of off-season rebuilds, I'm most likely not going to be getting any more gameplay from now on just because this is going to happen every single time. At least it feels like that. So, yeah, the Celtics rebuild's over because it's going to kick me back because autosave's obviously not on, because if it was on, then I wouldn't be able to kind of use that file every single time. But it's annoying. It's just kind of the way it goes. If you hit quit, it just kicks you to it kicks you back to the home page, and obviously nothing actually ends up saving. So I'm disappointed. I would have loved to do a third year, and again, I'm sorry this is such a short rebuild, most likely. But 2K is 2K. I mean, there's nothing I can really do about it. So I'll run you through the team one more time. It was Lonzo, Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, Jonathan Isaac, Rob Williams. Bench was Derek White. Then it was Peyton Pritchard, and then it was Grant Williams, and then, excuse me, I think it ended on Kelly Olynyk. So, my apologies. My Celtics fan, we did get banner 18, though, and a little bit of gameplay. Doesn't look like that'll be happening anytime soon, though. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any other video ideas, of course, leave them down below in the comment section while you're down there. If you're new around here, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you. This game can lick my fucking balls. This is really annoying at this point. Other than that, once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I do love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.